I don't really have an idea on how to start this one, so I think we're just going to go ahead and get straight into it. I just finished watching the second episode of Mortal Hunters, the web series by Warped Pictures. This episode was called The Hunt Begins. By the way, to help me out, I have a little notebook that I decided to jot down some stuff. Mainly questions that I have that I'll get into in a minute, and mainly synopsis of the episodes as they go to keep my thoughts consistent as we continue this review discussion. So I'm gonna briefly go over the synopsis for those that haven't watched my previous episodes. The last one, the pilot that I went over, was a year ago, so this will give a bit of a easier transition into now that the episodes are kind of coming out now. This current episode 2, was released about, I want to say, less than no, it was a week. It was a week because it was released yesterday, I believe, on Saturday, and episode 1 was released last Saturday. Or was it last Friday? One of the two. I'm wondering if this is now going to be weekly episodes. If so, fantastic. I have videos to make with these. But which is going to be a cool way to get consistent content to watch. So I'm going to briefly go over the synopsis of the episodes that are currently out, and then I'll get into a quick discussion after each of them. And I have basic notes, but we'll get into that. So the pilot, which it's just called the pilot. There's no subtitle to it. We follow main characters Prairie Dog and Canine, played by Matt Lamar and Kelton Vermin. They are hunters, individuals who find ancient artifacts to sell for profit. If you watch the pilot, we see Prairie Dog go through this weird forest wilderness with not a Geiger counter, but I guess some sort of GPS or radar thing to find the MacGuffin of it. After he finds said object, we'll say artifact. After he finds said artifact, he is ambushed by Jag, another hunter, a rival hunter, played by Haley Isbell. And these are the three performers, actors that I know of, because I didn't follow all the social media for this series, so I don't exactly know everyone's name by heart. So I'll do the best I can going forward. And itch. The Prairie Dog and Jag get into a brief fight, and Jag overpowers Prairie Dog, steals his truck and the artifact that he found. Canine comes in to take pictures for insurance, and they set off to meet their deadline by finding something else to compensate due to losing their original tip. That's how the pilot goes. Not a lot of information, not a lot of stuff going on, but it sets it up just enough. And I like how it doesn't give us too much, and we are expecting more. So that was the pilot. Now we get into actual episode 1, the starting line. The episode opens up with 4 employers. Why do I have a 3? Playing community poker. And they bid. If you don't know what community poker is, basically you have 2 cards, and the dealer puts 3, starts filling in on the table, and you have to match the hand. If you play Red Dead Redemption, that's the card game on that one. That's how I know it, at least. Personally, I'm a 5-card draw guy myself. But we have the 4 employers. I don't know exactly, nor do I think they confirm who they are the employer to. They play poker, bid ancient artifacts. If you saw my previous episode, I think the other day, was I no, it was the other day or last week. I forget. I'm like my brain's all jittery for a second. Um, they have ancient artifacts from like William Shakespeare's lost manuscript that no one knows about to King Tut's mask, skull, I think. No, mask. And dagger, gladius sword, yada yada. So we have now, the artifacts aren't just unknowns, we now have characters that introduce them based on some historical significance. Possibly. It could, these sound a little farce just to sell it, which is perfectly fine. Their game is interrupted by House. Like I said, the main proprietor, no, not like I said. Sorry. House, the main proprietor and possible main antagonist of the series. Reason why I say main antagonist is because it seems like he's going to be the overarching character with this whole thing. And he introduces the piece that Jag stole from Prairie Dog. One of the employers, I don't know exactly the name, recognizes it as something ancient, an ancient tablet, piece of it at least. And House proposes a race, a scavenger hunt race to find the rest of these tablet pieces and combine them, and it's like the ultimate treasure. That's what I got from it. Where they kind of agreed to do this massive scavenger hunt race, and we cut away to see Prairie Dog in captivity in a random house by Dennis and Mooney, two inexperienced hunters who I think might make a comeback. They're clearly underdogs with this. And they tried to interrogate him based on why did a guy walk several miles to find a lone house. It doesn't go well. It's actually quite comical, if y'all remember my last video. It's quite comical. After several interrogation attempts failed, Prairie Dog escapes, and Canine, with the help of a stoned Mooney, steal a crate that possibly has profit or some sort of financial significance. They escape, and by the time they reach their destination to collect their payment in nice, good old brown envelopes that you get like whenever you order a package from Amazon. And they receive new orders or a tip. And it says, roll into the spotlight. And that's how that ends. We don't know what that is. Well, we do next episode. That was that episode. I like this episode quite a bit. Some deliveries, I'll stop talking. I'll get into reviewing stuff in a minute after I do the synopsis and talk about questions and stuff. Episode 2, The Hunt Begins, starts out where the first few, I think 30 seconds, like half minute. This one's like 19 minutes compared to the first episode, not the pilot. And we see multiple hunters get the same envelope and the same invitation. It's revealed like not even a minute later that roll into the spotlight means meet at the local or known roller skating rink. Prairie Dog and Canine get there and search for clues on what they're looking for, and they are introduced to at gunpoint by Ranch and Bull, another hunter duo. Ranch, I guess, I'm not going to say a Texan, but he's got a nice country accent there. Clearly likes to hear himself talk. And his partner, Bull, is a big mofo. We clearly have a dynamic of Andre the Giant and... God, I forget his name. I love that movie too, and I forgot his name. But y'all know what I'm talking about with Princess and the Bride. Andre the Giant and his buddy. Kind of like that dynamic, except Ranch isn't as intelligent as the other guy. I keep forgetting his name. It's gonna bug me later. It's bugging me now. regardless, before Ranch and Bull are able to interrogate Prairie Dog and Canine, they are then interrupted, I should say, by another hunter, Jazzy. And not even 30 seconds later, another duo, Goldilocks and Oz. I'm assuming these names are reference to not just appearances, but also maybe personal significance. I reckon that Ranch and Bull come from country backgrounds and they know each other from like being ranch hands or something. Goldilocks and Oz, clearly a reference to Goldilocks and the Three Bears and The Wizard of Oz. As this episode goes, tensions really rise up. Jazzy and Goldilocks clearly have some sort of beef with each other. Like, they are willing to throw down, like, it's on sight, apparently, like, practically, without interference with level heads. Before things get kicked off, they are interrupted by the Face, House's attendant slash helper, I guess. I don't really know another word for that. Attendant or helper, who basically and Jag makes a return. The Face gives the rundown of the rules. You are to find these pieces that your employers will give tips out for the ultimate prize. Each piece is going to be worth 7 figures, with each additional piece adding on to that. Crazy. The rules are you cannot kill or eliminate the other hunters to keep the game fair. So clearly it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe a Squid Game, kind of. I'm getting a bit of a Squid Game type aesthetic to that, but not as tactful. So the rules are set. Face leaves, and almost all of them start leaving again. While Prairie Dog and Canine try to start their truck, clearly someone messed with their truck. Prairie Dog sees Jag waiting outside, and they have a talk. Jag basically tells Prairie Dog to give up while he's ahead. That he's inexperienced, and these other hunters are ruthless. And the next time those two meet, Jag's not going to be merciful. And it's clear that Prairie Dog is the underdog of these hunters. I wonder if Prairie Dog was a play on the word underdog. That's kind of clever if you think about it. Whereas Canine is clearly experienced, but he doesn't have a lot of partners. Canine is such a broad term. You could say that he's experienced, but he's not been in the game that much. After this little talk, Canine and Prairie Dog leave to find a bus station, and they are being watched by an unknown individual. And then credits, post-credit stuff, like it's the employers in house toasting themselves. May best man win, or best hunter win, whatever. And that's it. That's all we got so far for these episodes. Hope I explained it well enough. I'm sorry. I'll link the channel and the episodes in the description. I will do that. Sorry, I had like 2 shots of espresso this morning, and I'm a little jittery. So, technically speaking, this is a pretty well made web series. I like the camera angles. I like the lighting. Acting. This is amateur. I remember saying this in the previous video. I mean, no disrespect, but this is amateur stuff. It's expected. No one expects perfection with amateur work, clearly. But you can definitely tell it, especially if you watch a lot of film, TV, stuff like that. But clearly there's a lot of passion. The script is good. there was a few line reads that I noticed that were a little janky. It's not bad, gives you that like feeling. Um, Another thing was I think there was a point with a camera angle where one character was speaking. They were like here framed, but the camera focused behind them on the character behind them. This was especially apparent with Goldilocks and Oz. Goldilocks was talking. No, I think it was Oz that was talking and Goldilocks was in the focus. It was either that or vice versa. Either way, the camera focus was not on the character that was speaking, and I think unless that was intentional. If it was intentional, I have no idea why. It just felt a little off to me. Um, Another thing is a bit of blocking. The blocking feels a little. I don't want to say janky again, but it feels a little janky. Like, it feels like they're not completely in frame, or they don't fill out the scene cohesively. But these are like minor nitpicks. So I'll leave like all the technical stuff that I mentioned like away because it's a basic thing. What I like to know is the lore and the story. And the story here is pretty strong. It's a scavenger hunt race. I think we've had stories like this before. Race to find an artifact. Indiana Jones does this pretty constantly even. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Find the Ark of the Covenant. The whole movie is about that. Temple of Doom, actually not really. No, it was like 2 movies. No, 3. Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Yeah, Glass Crusade, Kingdom of Crystal Skull. It was a race to find the thing. At the end, the big treasure. Glass Crusade being the Holy Grail. But this is interesting to say the least. It's not just a good guy facing off against the bad guy faction to get to the thing at the end. This is like a free for all. It also kind of reminds me of like what was it? Battle Royale from 2000. Y'all remember? If y'all know this movie, first of all, it's fantastic. Japanese Battle Royale is what basically inspired Hunger Games. Give it a watch. It's fantastic. Got an itch. Damn. But that's what I get from this, is that it's like a Battle Royale scavenger hunt race. And that's interesting. And I can't wait for more episodes to kind of nail this on. Alright, sorry. I had a big itching fit. But I like that this is a massive now scavenger hunt. Again, I think we've had like I said before, there are movies that have done this before, possibly better, but we'll have to see. This is just starting. As the episode says, the hunt begins. I'm excited. I want to know what this tablet is. I'm pretty sure it's original concept. I am guaranteeing it's an original concept made for this series. But I can't wait to know more about this. Again, I remember talking about in my pilot episode discussion that I hope that the artifacts aren't just throwaway artifacts, that there's something there that makes them important. And with this tablet, we might get that finally. Not finally, shouldn't say. But we might get that. And I'm excited about that because I love lore and stuff that lore can do. If it's a mediocre series that has great lore but it's done pretty poorly, then it's like, dang, you had it and it just, the blueprint's there. But this is interesting and I can't wait to see more. Few things I want to kind of cover. I kind of briefly talked over that. What is the tablet? Like I said, I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to have divine power or any sort of like godly ability or anything like that. but I want to know what it does. Or if anything, go for the supernatural. I don't care. That's going to be awesome anyway. But considering how they're hyping this up, like, my crack theory is that it is a tablet used by, they're going to pull a Last Crusade, and it's like a detailed map to the Holy Grail. That's going to be my headcanon for like the longest time, because it's ancient. It's way ancient. And there's already stuff like, they're hyping this up so well. And I'm like, it's got to be something connected to like the Holy Grail or something of equal significance. Or maybe the Gate of Babylon, I don't know. That'll be awesome anyway. About time we got some Gilgamesh stuff. Who is the unknown man at the end of episode 2? That was just a question that I was like, I wonder who this guy is. My theory, or just my thought process is, when the face interrupts the roller skating rink before tensions get too high, Jag is said to have had a partner, a he. Said he's not here, so they start without him. I'm going to assume. No, I shouldn't assume. Makes an ass out of you and me. I'm gonna kind of think that the unknown person watching K9 and Prairie Dog is Jag's partner. And the reason why is another question I have. Why is Jag merciful to Prairie Dog? You could kind of attest this argument to like, oh, he's the underdog. He's inexperienced. He doesn't know. And that's also true, but there's something else to that. I think Jag started out like Prairie Dog. Inexperienced, reckless, impulsive, like ambitious. But she got sucked into it. And possibly doesn't want that to happen to Prairie Dog. K9's kind of already down the rabbit hole. But Prairie Dog's almost there. He's almost there. He's impetuous, reckless, impulsive. And that dynamic with him and K9 is really apparent. K9 is tactically sound. He comes up with the plans. He comes up with the strategies. He comes up with these schemes to get their profit. Eventually, I keep moving away. But Prairie Dog isn't. He's impulsive. Like I said, I think Jag started out like that and sees a lot of herself in him. That's my theory with that. Even though she says these people will kill you, and next time we meet, I am not going to hold back. If she really didn't care, she wouldn't have said that. This is probably me reading way too much into it, but I think she sees a lot of herself in Prairie Dog. And Prairie Dog is an underdog story. This is most likely an underdog story with Prairie Dog becoming the like big hunter at the end of it. That's my thought process on it. And that's interesting. I want to see more of that. It doesn't do anything new, but it's interesting to look at. What else did I have? I kind of don't got anything else. The other hunters. Yeah, exactly. The other hunters. Bull, Ranch, Goldilocks, Oz, Jazzy. I can't wait to see more of these people. They are interesting personality-wise. The dynamic is there. They all kind of hate each other. I want to see that competition. I can't wait to see that. If next episode does that, or if it just gives more exposition to set it up. But I can't wait to see more, because Mortal Hunters has established itself to have a nice cast of characters that have nice dynamics. And I kind of also want to see more of the employers, because they're also interesting. I love the mafia aesthetic to it. No, yeah, like the front man from Squid Game. I haven't caught up on Squid Game. I think I'm still on season 1. But I like the mafia aesthetic to it. clearly there's more going on behind the scenes. It's interesting, and I can't wait to see more of that. Or if we ever in like, I want to see more of that. I should say, but if, on the assumption that we are, I can't wait. But yeah, Moral Hunters is looking out to be a pretty interesting web series that I think people should keep an eye on. It is amateurish. It's an independent series. It's gonna be amateurish. It's gonna look sloppy. But I think that's the appeal with it too. And I can't wait to see more. This is gonna be a very interesting series to go over and discuss. And hopefully I can get when maybe when the season's over or when there's more episodes to truly talk about. Um, Hopefully, I can make a video discussing it more, uh, with more like behind the scenes details. Hopefully, but besides that, I kind of got nothing else to say about this. I wanted to kind of just briefly talk about the synopsis of the episodes and just what my thoughts are. I think this is the best episode so far. I think episode 1 had the strongest opening with the card game, but episode 2 had the better, like, stronger second half of that. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about more of this stuff. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm gonna try and make more videos consistently. Um, but yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. I can't, and yeah, I can't wait.